What's up everyone, welcome back to the Frog vs. Clown YouTube channel. I'm the Frog, MrFrogSplash.
I'm the Clown, TommyDaClown.
And today we're going to be reacting to WWE predictions that were made 10 years ago. So pretty much I found this Reddit post, right, where somebody asked the question, what are your predictions for the WWE in 10 years time? And this was posted in 2015, right? And there were about like 40 or 50 responses from people. Some really great predictions, some really bad ones. So today we're going to see how these predictions have aged and if any of them have actually come true. You excited?
Yes.
Let's go. So the Reddit post was made by the Reddit user IronXKnuckles. So if you're about, if you're watching this video somehow, thank you for the content idea here. Pretty much, he also actually submitted his own prediction for 2025, and it is Damien Sandow will hold the WWE World Heavyweight Championship before 2025. What do you think about that one? Because so far we've not gotten off to a great start.
Not really a great start. He did hold the Money in the Bank, so he got pretty close to it, but of course he failed to cash in. He didn't get the World Heavyweight Championship, and he's never been classed as a world champion, so the prediction is really wrong.
It's definitely wrong. He was one of those guys that I think people maybe expected to do well in the future, and maybe as one of the future faces of the company or that. But yeah, that didn't turn out to be the case. I don't know if he was Mr. Money in the Bank at this time. I can't remember. I don't even know what year he won it. I think maybe it was about 2015 he won it. So maybe that's the reasoning for this Reddit user saying that he would be world champion, but no, he did not become WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He's actually, I think, maybe doing something in TNA. I saw he was at least a couple months ago. And it'd be cool maybe to see him back in like an NXT ring or something one day, but yeah, this was wrong. Roman Reigns will be unbeaten at WrestleMania.
Well, he did beat Undertaker, who was unbeaten, but he himself is not unbeaten at WrestleMania, but his record is pretty good the past few years. He's been really good.
Not a bad prediction. I mean, to say anyone's going to go unbeaten at WrestleMania is a very, very bold statement. Now, he hasn't went undefeated at WrestleMania, but he definitely has had a really good WrestleMania run, and he's got a really good WrestleMania resume. You could say, his whole Tribal Chief run, he fought guys like Edge and Bryan, guys like Brock and Cody Rhodes and all of that, so that's great there. And so he didn't go unbeaten in WrestleMania, but he did actually go on to beat the guy who was for a very long time unbeaten in WrestleMania in The Undertaker. So not a terrible prediction in my opinion, but I mean it is wrong. So Cena's career will be ended by injury. Now that is obviously not a great prediction in terms you'd never want that to happen, but actually, believe it or not, we know how Cena's career is going to end due to him now being on this retirement tour. And I mean, you never know, this prediction could kind of still come true.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. During this run, if he is going to wrestle full-time properly at this age, he could still get injured. This is predictions for 2025. We're still in 2025. If he does get injured, he could retire, because this is his retirement year. I don't know if he'd want to go out like that, though. But it's not a bad prediction. He is trying his hardest right now, but of course right now it's incorrect.
Yeah, and I mean it's not going to end up being correct. He's doing this year, and he's going out anyway. He's planned to go out this year, whatever happens. So not a terrible prediction, but it's just weird to see how we now know how Cena's going to retire, considering you would just never have thought that this day would come, even though you knew it would have. The fact that it's now we're around the corner is quite sad. CM Punk will return.
Well, it's not a bad prediction. Not a bad prediction at all.
Unbelievable. So in 2015, at this point, Punk's been away for about a year. And to say CM Punk will return at that point was pretty crazy. And then as the years would go by, it got even crazier and crazier and crazier to say. He then goes to AEW, and then he makes his absolutely incredible return to the WWE at Survivor Series 2023, and this prediction is spot on. I mean, I wouldn't have predicted this. I did not see a world where CM Punk would come back to the WWE. Dean Ambrose won't be employed by 2020, either due to health, attitude, or money issues. I mean, this is actually not a terrible prediction, right? He left the company in about 2019.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Right? So to say he's not employed by 2020 is... that's very accurate.
He was a big player back then in 2015,
Yeah.
wasn't he? Like WWE champion at some point around then. I
Yeah,
mean,
around 2016ish. Yeah.
it's a crazy prediction. You
Yeah.
got it basically on the head.
And they said either due to health, attitude, or money issues. Now, none of them are 100% correct, but he did have problems with how he was being booked. He had problems with Vince and all that. So
What I was gonna say.
not like terrible. Like you've basically hit the nail on the head in saying like it's due to like some sort of like controversy or something, right? He didn't just leave because his contract ran out that he left. That was part of it, but also because he was having issues. So this is a very good prediction here, like very good. Only 2 out of 3 of the Shield will be majorly successful.
Wow.
Very wrong. That's
Yeah,
a very wrong
all
prediction.
3 of them right now. Right now, yeah. Roman Reigns is potentially the tribal chief. He just become the tribal chief in that whole run he had. Now he's like a good tribal chief. He's main evented the most manias of all time. You got Seth Rollins, who's gonna potentially main event this mania, main event in the last one, multi-time world champion. And you got John Moxley, who's running a whole company basically right now with the Death Riders, AW world champion over there. 3 times?
I think about 3 or 4.
3 or 4 times. One of the Mount Rushmores of AW. So this
maybe even the greatest AW wrestler of all time. You could say that.
You could actually say that 3-time AW world champion is mad, but yeah, that prediction is awfully wrong.
Definitely, you've literally got all 3 members are amazing in their own right, and as well with John Moxley, he left the company, and you could view that as very risky. But he went over to AEW, and he's become maybe the greatest AEW wrestler of all time. And if he were to ever return to the WWE, he would be a main eventer instantly. He would be just as big as guys like Seth and Roman. So, this is a very wrong prediction, and every single member of the Shield has carved out a Hall of Fame career for themselves. So you're wrong. So very on topic, based on what's happening right now, what happened on NXT a couple of nights ago, Fandango / the guy that plays the character of Fandango will be a WWE World Heavyweight Champion one day. That's very interesting because obviously he just came back a couple nights ago on NXT.
Well, yes, he did. He's not become a WWE World Heavyweight Champion, but he's had some big moments. He has. He's not really became close to the World Heavyweight Championship, and for what I know.
And from 2015 onwards, he hasn't really done too much in the WWE. He had a little run in NXT, I think as tag champs with Tyler Breeze and all that. But I mean, yeah, he's doing his thing in TNA now. He's now
JDC.
known by the name of JDC. He made a really cool return on NXT, and we're going to see him maybe win the Heritage Cup next week. Who knows?
Hopefully.
But yeah, this prediction is very wrong. But it's just really cool to see the mention of Fandango there and him returning a couple of nights ago. It's definitely a really cool thing. Ricochet main events WrestleMania. Now that is bold because at this point Ricochet has not even joined the WWE yet. So that's crazy, isn't it?
It's very crazy. Was he in like Lucha Underground right now?
Yeah, he pretty much would have been in around Lucha Underground at this time. So that's really cool to see because not only he didn't main event at WrestleMania, but he went to the WWE and had a pretty good career there. So wow. And I mean now he's in AEW and he's doing some good stuff there, having a big rivalry with Swerve, and he's finally I think able to properly develop a character. Whereas in WWE, most of the time he was more just the guy who was cool in the ring. So it's cool. It's just cool to see this guy had really high hopes for Ricochet, like a lot of people did back then. And maybe he could come back one day and main event a Mania. You never know. You never know. You never know. WWE will go through a boom period and increase exponentially in viewership.
Yes, it has. And with this whole Netflix thing, even before the Netflix thing with Triple H, it has. People are comparing this era to even being better than the Attitude Era, which is considered one of maybe the greatest era of all time. So definitely, yes, he's got this right on the head.
Yeah, to say WWE is going to go through a boom period, it's a big statement to make, right? And that's exactly
especially during that time.
Yeah, and this is exactly what we're going through right now, a boom period. I think WWE is at the best it's been in a very long time, especially Monday Night Raw. I think we're going through such an amazing time for the WWE, and it says increase exponentially in viewership. We see social media numbers getting broken every single week. We're seeing, the gate number, and it feels like every week we've got Michael Cole telling us how this PLE is the most viewed PLE, or all
Triple
that.
H comes in the press conference and says all the records are great.
It's crazy, right? So we are definitely going through a really great time. And yes, like you said, people are comparing this era to the Attitude Era, which, you know, all these old guys are saying the Attitude Era is the greatest thing, you can't top it. But I'm going to be real. From what I've seen from the Attitude Era, it's great, right? But what we are going through right now, I think is better. You know what? That's a future video idea. Is this current era better than the Attitude Era? Stay tuned for that, because I definitely want to talk about that for sure. Eh?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
100%.
you could definitely say this era was better, but we'll talk about that if in the future video.
But overall, a perfect prediction.
Yeah.
TNA will improve again. Now that is definitely the case. You know, TNA did go through a little slow period after you got guys like Joe and Styles and all that leaving, but TNA I feel like is finally building itself back up and gaining its like identity again, isn't it?
Yeah, especially with this new WWE deal, is the best for both brands or both companies, because they're getting TNA wrestlers when they want them, need them. TNA are getting WWE wrestlers, more mainly NXT though. But yeah, they are. I've caught myself watching a few shows sometimes here and there when I never watched TNA, and recently 2024, 2025, I've seen myself doing it. So yeah, it's getting back to that level.
Yeah, well, TNA before this whole NXT partnership, I wasn't really into TNA all that much. But ever since they announced the partnership and they've been doing these crossovers, people like Fraxium defending their championships on TNA TV. We've got people like Jordan Grace coming over, and now she's actually signed with the WWE. People like Masha Slamovich sitting in the crowd. You've got other people going over there. It's really cool to see, and it definitely increases my interest in the company, and it increases the eyeballs going over there. And I just do feel like the stars over in TNA are really cool. You got like Nick Nemeth and Joe Hendry, Moose, people like that. So I do think TNA is in a really good place right now, and I think it's actually getting so good to the point where you could say it's like competing with like an AEW, you know, because AEW was second place for a very long time, and it still is, I would say, the second biggest and best company. But TNA is getting to that point where it's like maybe TNA and AEW, you know, weekly shows, maybe TNA is a little better than AEW at times. So I think this is a very good prediction. TNA has definitely improved in my eyes. Reigns will be super over and become an IWC darling. This has actually come true, right? In 2015, Roman Reigns was hated. Everyone hated Roman Reigns. No one wanted to see Roman Reigns as champion. No one wanted to see Roman Reigns win matches. But this person predicted that Reigns will be super over. And I mean, Roman right now is one of the most over wrestlers in the company. Everyone loves Roman now.
I don't know if this guy meant face or heel, because he started getting really over when he was heel, but right now, yes, 2025, 10 years later with his predictions, he's really over right now as a babyface, like he was back then. So this guy, you know, he saw something clearly. I mean, I've seen some old clips of Roman Reigns back then. He's not even that bad, but the fans just wanted to boo on him for some reason.
And that's the thing, right? The tribal chief character elevated Roman ridiculously. I saw someone say that going from big dog to tribal chief is just as impactful, if not more, than when Stone Cold went from the ringmaster to Steve Austin, Stone Cold, you know. And actually, it's a very good comparison, because tribal chief is one of the greatest characters of all time, and that character saved Roman's career. I don't even know where Roman would be right now if he was still the big dog. I don't know what would have happened. Like, would he still be getting pushed, especially under Triple H? I feel like Triple H, I don't know what he would have done with him, you know? So I think the tribal chief saved Roman's career. Not only saved it, but literally put Roman in the realm of Hogan, Cena, Rock, and Austin. Like that, like prestige of a wrestler in the company. And become an IWC darling. I mean, the internet wrestling community, like Roman, most people do. As he was, you know, later on in his title reign, people were getting a little sick of it, maybe just due to the interferences and all that. But as soon as he took that break, everyone was begging for Roman to come back. And yeah, he's definitely one of the most over wrestlers in the company right now. So a very good prediction here. Now this is a very weird one. WWE fires Randy Orton for being a backstage bitch.
Okay.
Gets caught shitting in another diva's bag. Fired on the spot. What do you think of this?
Well, if he got it right, then he was a time traveler.
Time traveler, if he got that. That'd be ridiculous.
Of course, it's not divas anymore. They're just like women's wrestlers. You never know though. 2025 is not over. Randy Orton is like a menace. If he turns heel, you never know what he can do backstage. So he's not got it wrong yet.
If he does this, that'll be top 3 most menacing things he's ever done. Like, you just got caught shitting in another woman's bag, man. What are you doing? and fired on the spot. To be honest, if this happened though, I don't even think we would know. Like, I don't think.
They'd spread it out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is such a weird prediction, but I mean, at least this person called their shot, because if it did happen, they would be viewed as an absolute legend, because how do you predict that? But you're wrong. I love this one, right? A new company that hasn't been created yet will actually compete with WWE, recreating the Monday Night Wars.
All Elite Wrestling, AEW, that's exactly what happened. And they were competing at one point. They were going head to head. People were watching AEW. I was watching AEW. You were watching AEW with me when it was happening. And it was actually a competition. Right now, AEW is still a really big company. They are the second best, but they're still up there as one of the biggest companies in the world right now. So Monday Night Wars being recreated, yes, it has happened.
Yeah, like we had NXT and Dynamite competing for a very long time, and we have had glimpses of like episodes of AEW and main roster WWE compete, and it has been really fun. Obviously, do you remember that NXT episode when we had LA Knight as the ref? We had Taker show up, Cena, Paul Heyman. Everyone was there, right? Because like these companies just want to win, they want to beat each other so much. When AEW first arrived, WWE wasn't in a great place, and AEW had, forced WWE to step up and improve their product. And without AEW, I'm of the firm belief that WWE would not be nearly as good as it is now. So you have to thank AEW for that. As of right now, though, I feel like WWE is on a whole different level compared to AEW with Netflix, and we're on the road to WrestleMania, and you've got stars like Punk, Cena, and maybe The Rock if he shows up. Not to mention Roman and Seth and all that there. So I don't feel like they're competing as much anymore, but for a very long time they were competing and they were going head to head. So this prediction is another spot on prediction, and yeah, great one there. Bo Dallas will be the WWE champion. Now that's a really interesting one. Bo Dallas definitely was projected to be a massive star when he was younger, but this is really cool for me to see because he's actually still here, but he's here as Uncle Howdy. I mean, kind of a split persona because he does tap into Bo Dallas every now and then, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. It is cool to see that he is still here after this prediction was made in 2015. Of course, he was like fired, but yeah, you can see WWE were pushing him with that NXT title reign that he had, and everyone had to Bo leave, and he had like a win streak somehow. But of course, WWE champion, it's not happened. Uncle Howdy, I don't see him becoming WWE champion anytime soon, at least. So the prediction, I don't think it will happen, and it's definitely not happened yet.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's impossible because he is here in the WWE and he is like the leader of a whole faction, and so that's definitely a great thing for him. But for his type of character, I just don't think he would win a championship, let alone the WWE title. But there's definitely still time, and I do actually see it maybe in the next 5-ish years. You never know. But Bo Dallas was someone I actually said, how you have guys like Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, they go out and they come back and reinvent themselves. I remember saying like a good couple years ago, I said Bo Dallas is going to reinvent himself and he's going to come back and be a top star in the WWE, right? Like Matt Cardona is probably going to do, right? And that looks like it's happened in a way. He's not necessarily a top star, but he is definitely bigger than he was like 8 years ago. So yeah, this is actually quite a good prediction, but just not exactly right. This one's crazy. John Cena and Kofi Kingston will have their first singles match. Now I checked, and they have still never went one-on-one with each other.
That is a crazy stat. Well, John Cena is now here in his retirement, sir.
So it's time. Let's do it.
It's not a crazy prediction to happen. John Cena and Kofi Kingston going one-on-one is not like the maddest thing you've seen in the world compared to what Randy Orton's going to do to the Divas bag.
Well, and to think that like out of these predictions, right, we got Punk returning, but not a Cena versus Kofi match. I mean, that's crazy. But there's definitely still time for this to happen. Plus, now Kofi's a proper heel, so it could be really cool, in my opinion, to see a face Cena and a heel Kofi interaction. Because I think one part of the reason as to why they've never fought is because these are the two like biggest baby faces back in 2012. These are the two biggest faces really. Like Kofi, no one hates Kofi, right? And some people hate Cena, but Cena was booked as just the Superman, the best guy that there was. So realistically, this could very much still happen. And the fact that they've never went one-on-one, it's just very weird. There's a lot of matches that are like that. Like Rey Mysterio and Sheamus have still never went one-on-one. That's so weird, right? There's so many other ones like that that you would have thought would have happened, but they haven't. And this is one of them. So I really hope it happens this year. We'll just have to wait and see. The Usos will retire before John Cena does.
Well, John Cena's having a retirement tour right now,
Mhm.
so unless the Usos retire in the next like 9 months, that's not gonna happen. I don't think it will happen.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very interesting prediction, a very specific one. But I mean, to be honest, it couldn't be any more wrong. Cena's retiring this year, and Jey Uso just won the Rumble.
Yeah,
It's very opposite. You know, Jay's going up, Cena's going down in a way. Jimmy,
Jimmy's here.
well, Jimmy's carving his way. You know, it's definitely harder for him because he didn't have that time to develop as a single star like Jay did. But Jimmy really is, I would say, progressing, and it looks like he's going to be getting a United States Championship match at WrestleMania. If he were to win there, that'd be really, really cool. I would love that moment of him and Jay both coming out at maybe the end of the show, or whenever Jay wins, one as US champ, one as Raw champ. That'd be really, really cool. But yeah, no, this prediction is very wrong. Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin will be the main event of WrestleMania 35. Now, this was not the case. In fact, the main event of WrestleMania 35 was, I'm pretty sure, Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair triple threat.
Yeah, I think it was. But
So yeah,
Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin did have a feud. They did. Not the main event of WrestleMania, but they were pushing Baron Corbin. I don't know what he won back then.
35 I think is when he retired Kurt Angle. So I mean, you weren't
Oh,
far off in terms of like a big match for Kurt Angle, for Baron Corbin at this show. But main event WrestleMania.
Baron Corbin, the main eventer, is crazy, but it's a bold prediction. That's why we're here.
Yeah, and Corbin had a really big potential when he was earlier on in his career, and he obviously didn't hit that. But it's not a terrible prediction. It's actually kind of interesting to see that this person predicted Roman Reigns to main event Mania, and this is pretty much like the one Mania he didn't main event over the past like 10 years, you know. So it's very cool. Because Reigns has just main evented pretty much every Mania of the past decade, but I don't think this prediction was terrible. Can it still happen if Corbin was to ever return? I would say,
Reinvent himself.
yeah, but I would say probably not.
It'd be Roman Reigns versus Tom Pestock, or whatever his name is.
The Bishop. He's the Nomad Bishop Dyer now.
Should die.
Yeah. So,
Whoa!
WrestleMania 40 will be held in China. Right now, obviously, WrestleMania 40 has already happened, and it was in Philadelphia, in the USA. But what this person did get right is that WWE have been going more international lately. So I don't know if they were joking, like a WrestleMania in China. I don't know if they actually were being serious here. But I guess it's a lot more of a possibility now than it ever was.
Yeah, well, we've still not had a WrestleMania outside North America, is that right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, they've been in the USA and Canada, and I don't think they've been anywhere else. So.
Yeah, but we've not even been to China yet. But yeah, we are going international now. We're having a bunch of, like last year, we had more international PLEs than actual USA PLEs, which is a crazy stat. But not a bad prediction. Of course, didn't happen. Nowhere near happening anytime soon.
With the WWE going to China for WrestleMania, I think we should probably go to like London first.
Yeah.
I think we should probably go to like even France first. France definitely deserves one. But China definitely would be a really cool place to run a PLE. Like, you definitely could put Money in the Bank there or something like that. I think we could definitely be in for a really interesting show. But for WrestleMania, like, I think when it finally does go international, I think it should be like a London or something like that. But like, to be honest, at the time this would have been looked at as like a terrible prediction. But to be honest, right now, it's actually pretty alright. So not too bad there. AJ Styles debuts and wins the WWE Championship. I can dream. Well, you don't have to dream any longer because this became a reality. AJ Styles did show up in 2016 in the men's Royal Rumble match and won the WWE Championship not long after. So this is like pretty much spot on.
Yeah, he won the WWE Championship once, maybe twice if I can remember. Not only did he win that, he won like the US title. I think he became a Grand Slam.
He was the quickest Grand Slam of all time.
So they pushed him really hard. He dreamed. This guy got his dream definitely. He's still here. Just came back at the Royal Rumble. Hopefully he's gonna have a big match at WrestleMania. But it's a good prediction. A great prediction.
Yeah, and it's one that you maybe would have never thought would have come true, but it did, and I'm really glad it did. And it's great to see him come back in the 2025 Rumble this year, and it looks like he's going to be feuding with Logan Paul at WrestleMania. But after that feud, I really hope to see him go back for maybe World Championship Gold or something like that. They teased a Braun Breaker and AJ Styles feud, That could be great. So this prediction, a really good one, and a really great way to end the video. Thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving us a like and subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy content like this, we upload very frequently, so hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And let us know in the comments, like, what are your predictions for 10 years into the future, right? For the WWE. Maybe Austin Theory is going to be world champion. Maybe Wesley wins the Royal Rumble match. Like, who knows, right? Give us your predictions, right? Thank you again. We'll see you later.